two registered sex offenders, both wearing GPS ankle monitors, both under active government supervision. And while the system was technically watching every move they made, they killed at least 5 women. Today, we're going inside the case that broke one of the biggest myths in corrections. There's a body on a conveyor belt. March 14th, 2014, East Anaheim Recycling Facility. Workers are sorting through a mountain of garbage rolling past them on a fast-moving belt when they see her. Jeray Nicole Estep, 21 years old, a young mother originally from Oklahoma, discarded in the trash like she was nothing. As devastating as it is also a mistake. The one thing that went wrong for 2 men who had been running a very clean operation for 5 months, because up until that Friday morning, nobody had noticed anything at all. Let's go back to the beginning. Stephen Dean Gordon grew up in Linwood, California. He was a small kid. He was sick all the time, held back a year in school, and he was bullied for most of his childhood. And it's the kind of bullying that either breaks you or it turns you into something mean. For Gordon, it went the second direction. By 1992, he had his first conviction for lewd and lascivious acts on a child under 14. He eventually tried to build something resembling a normal life, married a woman named Lewis in 1995, had a daughter named Kayla in 1997. He worked 2 jobs, but the financial stress and the instability ate through the domestic routine pretty fast. He started making threats, talking about suicide. At one point, discussing how to fake his own death so his family could collect on his life insurance, which, as far as schemes go, that's a lot of effort. Lewis left him in 2001 and got a protective order. Gordon's response to that was to repaint his car, swap the license plates, follow the family to a church in Riverside, and show up on Sunday morning with a stun gun. He kidnapped his ex-wife and their 4-year-old daughter in August of 2001, bound and gagged Lewis, drove them both to Nevada. He was convicted of 2 counts of kidnapping in April 2002 and sentenced to 10 years, paroled in February 2010 with a GPS ankle monitor and restrictions on where he could go and who he could associate with. Franc Cano was born in Compton in 1986, 17 years younger than Gordon. Chronic asthma, severe eczema, a child defined by isolation. Kids in his neighborhood spread rumors that he had AIDS, had HIV. His family moved to a trailer park in Garden Grove when he was about 8, but by then the social damage was already settling in deep. In 2006, he was caught molesting a 9-year-old niece at a family gathering. During the police interview, he talked openly about being a virgin, about his complete inability to connect with women, about the loneliness that had been eating him up for years. He pleaded guilty in 2007, served 16 months, and was paroled in October 2009 with his own GPS ankle monitor and a lifetime sex offender registration requirement. These two meet at an Anaheim auto body shop where Gordon had landed work through a former supervisor. The connection was immediate and completely pathological, despite the age difference there. Gordon was aggressive and dominant and looking for someone to control. Cano was younger, sickly, socially invisible, and looking for some protection. Co-workers thought they were in a relationship. What they actually were, more precisely, was 2 people whose worst qualities locked together like something out of a criminology textbook. Both homeless, both living out of Gordon's Toyota 4Runner, both wearing ankle monitors, both prohibited by the terms of their release from associating with each other. And nobody caught it. The federal system watched Gordon. The state system watched Cano. Nobody's software was comparing notes. There were no proximity alerts, no cross-agency flags. The GPS trackers knew exactly where both of them were every minute, and the 2 systems were completely blind to each other. They had also already demonstrated what they thought of those ankle monitors. In November 2010, Cano physically cut his off, and Gordon walked away from his parole supervision early. They made it to Alabama before anyone caught them. Back to prison, back out, And then, in 2012, they cut the monitors off again, boarded a Greyhound bus to Las Vegas under false names, and spent 2 weeks there before federal agents tracked them down. Both times, the consequence was basically a return to the same electronic monitoring program. Point being, these two had shown their hand multiple times, and the house kept dealing them back in. By October 2013, they had developed a system. They were living in an RV parked behind the auto body shop in Anaheim. They'd figured out that municipal trash pickup ran on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So they went hunting on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Commercial bins would be emptied before decomposition had time to alert anyone. Gordon would drive. Cano hid in the back seat. When a woman got in, Cano came forward. Kiana Jackson was 20 years old, from Las Vegas, visiting Santa Ana, taken October 6, 2013. Her mother, Kathy, and grandmother, Diane, later spoke about what it meant to lose her before she got to watch her little brother grow up. Josephine Vargas was 34, Santa Ana resident, taken October 24th. Martha Anya was 28, a mother, taken November 12th. Her 12-year-old sister would later say in court, quote, "She also told me not to talk to strangers. Now I realize why." Sable Pickett was 19, taken from Beach Boulevard in Anaheim on Valentine's Day 2014. For years, she had no name attached to the case. Gordon knew her name. He just kept it. And then, Jeray Estep, the person I mentioned at the very beginning of this story, taken March 13th, 2014. The next morning, she turned up on the conveyor belt. Something had gone wrong with the disposal. The system that had worked 4 times over had failed on the 5th. Detective Julissa Trapp caught the case. She was, at that time, the only female homicide investigator in the Anaheim Police Department, and she had spent years in sex crimes before moving to homicide, which gave her a very specific set of instincts for this. Her team ran a retroactive GPS search, which registered sex offenders' monitoring devices placed them near the recycling facility's resource routes on the night Estep disappeared. Franc Cano's tracker put him at her last known location. Gordon's federal tracker mirrored Cano's movements exactly across every single murder. The digital leash that had done nothing to stop these men had documented everything they did. On April 11th, 2014, police moved on the auto shop. Somehow Gordon sensed they were coming, pulled off his ankle monitor, grabbed a backpack, and tried to leave on a bicycle. Officers tackled him. Cano was arrested without incident. After being arrested, Cano immediately asked for a lawyer. Gordon agreed to talk. What followed was 13 and a half hours with Julissa Trapp, and it became one of the most remarkable interrogation stories in recent true crime history. Gordon was intelligent, deeply controlling, and constantly watching her face for any sign of judgment. Trapp later said that Gordon described the killings the way that someone would describe ordering a pizza, just completely flat. If she flinched, though, if she even swallowed hard at the wrong moment, the interview ended. So, she didn't flinch. She didn't do anything. She drew on her own personal history, her own grief, to build something in that room that felt like a genuine connection, not because she had any sympathy for what he had done, but because getting him to talk was the only way those women got acknowledgement of what happened to them. He confessed to all 4 murders, and then he looked at her and said, "You're missing one." Valentine's Day, a 5th woman. He could not or would not give a name. Trapp spent years on it. Missing persons databases, cell tower records, GPS logs from February 14th, 2014. A bail bondsman eventually pointed her toward a woman who had missed a court appearance. The description matched. Trapp contacted the family. Her name was Sable Pickett, 19 years old, from Compton. Her remains were never recovered, but her family did get an answer. At trial in late 2016, Gordon fired his public defender and represented himself, saying only cowards hide behind their attorneys. He conceded guilt from his opening statement and told the jury he deserved to die. What he actually wanted was the platform. His argument was that he and Cano had repeatedly shown who they were, repeatedly walked away from supervision with minimal consequence, and the correction system had essentially cleared the path for them. The jury convicted him on December 15, 2016, after 1 hour of deliberation. He was sentenced to death on February 3, 2017, and is currently being housed at San Quentin as California appeals process runs its course. Franc Cano pleaded guilty in December 2022, life without parole. The victims' families asked prosecutors not to pursue a second death sentence. They had already waited long enough. Julissa Trapp moved to cold cases. She bought a rosary during each search for Sable Pickett and prayed until she had a name. She has since solved at least one 40-year homicide. 5 women: Kiana, Josephine, Martha, Sable, Jeray. The GPS was running the entire time. Thanks for listening to 10-Minute Murder, bingeable true crime stories. My name is Joe. I'm the host, and yeah, I'm still dealing with this cold thing, and I appreciate you suffering through it with me. Here's an email. Subject: a recommendation machine. Hey, Joe. I've recommended your podcast enough times that my friends have stopped asking me what I'm listening to because they already know the answer. A couple of them are listeners now too, so I guess this is my apology and my accomplishment. Random question. What's something that you've really gotten into in the last year that surprised you? Jessica in Bloomington, Indiana. Jessica, thank you for listening, first of all. Thank you for sharing the podcast with your friends. I really appreciate that. And thank you to your friends that are new listeners to the podcast. That means a lot too. And something that I've gotten into in the last year that surprised me. I don't know. I'm kind of a creature of habit, so I do the same things pretty often. But one thing that I have started doing is pickleball. I haven't played a whole bunch, but I've played a little bit, enough to know that I'm going to continue to keep playing. I just don't have a ton of time to do it, but I really enjoy pickleball. I'm not good at it. I suck. It's like ping pong on a larger scale, if that makes any sense. If you never played pickleball, it's kind of like ping pong, but just larger. You get a little bit of cardio in while you're doing that. It's fun, but I suck at it, and I feel like at any moment I'm going to roll my ankle and break my body in half or something. I don't have like a middle gear. It's either I'm not playing or I'm playing wide open. So yeah, I'm a menace on the pickleball court. And that may be the widest thing I've ever said in my entire life. Hey, if you're a new listener to this podcast, welcome. Get comfortable. Go back and listen to the hundreds of backlog episodes for you to listen to, and also catch up on the new ones as they come out. They usually come out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually twice a week. Sometimes I try to throw in the third one if I've got time to do that. But wherever you're listening right now, make sure you hit subscribe. And if you're enjoying the podcast, share it with your friends and your family. And that's it. That's your episode for today. Thank you again for listening to 10-Minute Murder. See you next time.